Hey Scorpio, I hope this video finds you comfortable and cozy as we are going through February in Aquarius season. For you, Aquarius represents your fourth house of home and family. So you might be feeling a little bit reclusive or withdrawn, or maybe you're just focusing a lot on your home or spending time with your family. It's likely by the end of this month when the energy is going to shift more towards romance, creativity, and passion. Overall, February actually looks like a really pleasant month to me. We don't have any major disruptive energies, although we do have a lot of opportunity to shake things up. Overall, it feels like any problems or disruptions that emerge are feeling much more manageable, especially compared to the beginning of this year in January when we had 3 retrograde planets. We actually don't have another retrograde until the end of April, so there really is this forward moving momentum that is just building throughout February. If you're excited for today's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to my channel, my name is Michael, and I incorporate tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. If you're looking to dive even deeper, you can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions with me in the description box down below, as well as links for the blog posts and my other social media accounts. So as I'm shuffling the cards here, I kind of want to start talking a little bit more about the astrology for you, Scorpio. We do have a full moon in Leo. Interesting how the cards came out and just seemed to perfectly mirror what I'm talking about with the King of Pentacles and the Judgment card here. This full moon in Leo represents a change or a culmination of something with your work or public image. You actually could be receiving a lot of recognition right now. You could be advancing or receiving some sort of promotion, especially if you've been working towards this. I feel like you are stepping into some sort of big role. And this kind of feels counterintuitive with the energy or with your flow right now. You want to spend a lot of time at home or with your family. Perhaps it's actually because of some sort of promotion or achievement, you are able to kind of shift focus, however. So there may actually be a solution or an opportunity through work that is actually improving your personal life. And it's also helping you kind of reach for your spiritual calling. It's helping you reach for the things that really, really matter. And at least right now, I do feel like there is this emphasis on home and family. We do have the Five of Pentacles coming out with the Hierophant as well. So some of you may be receiving some sort of support from another person, or there is some sort of offer that is coming in. The Hierophant can actually represent institutions or organizations, although there is often a spiritual connotation with this card. There really doesn't have to be. I feel like you could actually be getting some sort of job. Maybe you're changing jobs or leaving a job and you're going towards something that is more aligned to you, especially values wise. If there's been some sort of difference in perspective with you and your work environment, I feel like you might be leaving something behind, or maybe, you know, for some of you, maybe you have been laid off or there is some sort of ending in your employment, but overall it feels like there is something that is at play that feels much more aligned with you spiritually, especially with Judgment and the King of Coins here. I do also notice that we have Aquarius, or Mercury, entering into the sign of Aquarius, where you again are focusing more on home and family. You might not actually be leaving a job. Maybe you're just kind of shifting your focus of energy, and kind of like going to the things that matter, taking care of emotional matters. I do have the Five of Swords, and this is kind of front and center to your reading, so it does feel like you kind of want to retreat from the world. It does feel like you need to kind of step back. And really pick and choose your battles here as well. Although I do get the sense that there is a victory here. Some of you could be attracting some unwanted attention or maybe some jealousy. But that's not really where your heart and head is at least at the start of this month here. Kind of looking a little further, we do have an interesting conjunction with Venus and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. The reason why I find this so fascinating is that Venus is actually exalted in the sign of Pisces, and Neptune is the co-ruler, one of the ruling planets over the sign of Pisces. And so these beautiful energies are very potent and coming together, and it's very romantic, it's very dreamy. And for you specifically, Pisces can pertain to romance. So there could be something happening around Valentine's Day, around the 15th, when we have this beautiful, beautiful conjunction. Or maybe there's just this longing or intense desire to have a partnership, especially if you're single, or just have someone to create a life with. It feels very domestic this month for me, and even this kind of focus on romance, it's very much about the end goal, or like what you actually want to build or cultivate. If you're not looking for love, if you're in a relationship, you could just be building something or wanting to cultivate more, something just for you and your partner or for the people who are close to you. If you're not looking for relationships at all, you're single and not looking to change that, then I really see that you are building something kind of just for your life or for the people who do matter to you, the people you do consider your family. And we have the world here as well. And it's interesting that this is showing up as a challenge for you this month, Scorpio, because it really is like you don't necessarily want to be out in the world right now. Oops, why is that not showing up? There we go. And, there's this feeling of vulnerability that I am getting. Some of you are kind of stuck between a threshold right now. And it definitely feels like you have a sense of what it is that you're walking away from or what you want to engage with less. I think the challenge for you, Scorpio, is really figuring out what it is that you want to move towards, what it is that is exciting or inspiring to you. Although I feel like some of you have an idea, actually, with Judgment and the King of Pentacles. It might feel like there's not a clear step forward or a clear way forward, which is kind of interesting because I feel like over February, that's actually going to become clearer. It might be at the start of this month where you're still trying to figure out, how do I move forward? How do I progress to the next stage of my life? Let's actually get some advice for that. We have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, so following your passions, following your inspiration. I feel like this actually fits very nicely with kind of the Pisces energy we are in throughout this month as well, or that we're experiencing throughout this month, especially in the second half of February. I feel like you are following your dreams, you're following your passions, and it's almost like you're doing things for the simple enjoyment that they bring you. And so it's like if you are feeling so lost in your life and you're trying to make some really big decisions, I almost want to encourage you to just take a step back and really just get back to things that you enjoy, and maybe stop trying to figure things out, maybe stop trying to see everything all at once, and just go with the flow and enjoy things. I feel like flow is actually a really important thing for you this month as well. I mean, it is for all of us. We are going into Pisces season collectively, but it really is about your enjoyment, your pleasure, your passion. What else do we have for Scorpio? Where is all of this leading? We have the King of Wands. Okay, so I do feel like ultimately you are going to be coming back out, or you are going to be stepping back into some sort of center stage, or coming back into the limelight in some way. That did feel like something that happened around this full moon on the 5th. But I think there's almost this sort of resistance to it, if I'm being honest. And the focus, I think, right now is more personal, but you are going to be stepping up in some way again. Ooh, we have the Lovers and the Ten of Wands. Interesting. I feel like there could also be a lot of issues that could be coming up in your relationship, but it's not like about the two of you, actually. For those of you who are connected to someone, and this does not even have to be romantic, there could be some sort of financial issue with someone you are very close to, especially someone you have some form of partnership with, whether that is romantic, business, or platonic. I feel like there needs to be a carrying of the weight. You kind of need to help support each other. This person could have Gemini energy or fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, especially Leo here. Um, but I really feel like overall with the lovers, especially with this lovers card, there is something about self-love and self-acceptance and kind of seeing new parts of yourself in a very open way. And I think with Gemini, or I'm sorry, with Mars in the sign of Gemini, there could be things that you're uncovering that could feel kind of unsettling, um, or kind of challenging your sense of identity. To be honest, Mars and Gemini could be bringing up issues regarding sexuality or gender identity. Um, and maybe that feels burdensome right now. If this isn't about sexuality, it could also just be about something very emotional and needing to be self-loving during this time. Because when I see the Ten of Wands, it's like you have attained some level of success by the end of February. You have reached some goals and maybe even exceeded them. But it's almost created more work and more pressure. So the effort here now is, how do I delegate? How do I not carry all of this burden by myself? Maybe you do need to let go of things, or maybe you do need to find help and get assistance from other people. What else do we have? I mean, there could be romance, though. I actually do want to pull for love and relationships for you, just because that will kind of be a theme, and I think it's just a question a lot of people have. We've sort of covered that already, but are there any other messages for love and romance, relationships for Scorpios for the month of February? Wow, yeah, we do have the Ten of Pentacles. It's like I was saying, I really feel like you want to have a domestic long-term thing at this point, Scorpio. At least most of you do. And maybe that involves another person. Maybe it doesn't. It doesn't have to. But I feel like there's a lot of focus on the long-term stability, the big picture of your life, the legacy. There is sometimes an intergenerationality with this card as well. And actually kind of thinking of this too, Pisces does also represent children for you as well. So maybe you're thinking about having children, or there's a lot of focus on taking care of your children right now. I just get this really domestic energy, and I know I keep saying that word. I hope it's not driving you crazy, but I'm just looking at this house. It is very Ten of Pentacles. I feel like there's almost these rose-colored glasses that you're putting on too, and it's like you really want just a romantic life. And I mean, you could be working towards that. You could be moving towards that, truly. And part of this is also having the material abundance and emotional abundance. It's having the wealth that is necessary to not only provide for yourself, but for the people that you care about. And again, wealth is not just financial. It can be spiritual. It can be emotional. So I feel like you are building a life, not just for yourself, but for the people that you care about. We do have death here as well, which is interesting. Now, I don't want you to panic just because we have the death card here. Let's clarify what this is about. Death certainly represents the end of a cycle. It certainly represents things coming to an end, but sometimes that is actually a very welcome energy. And this is actually one of your cards. We have the symbol for Scorpio, as well as Mars and Pluto, which are your co-planetary rulers. So there is some sort of transformation that is taking place here. And it's actually interesting too. I know I was pulling for love and relationships and romance, but Pluto is actually moving into the sign of Aquarius next month, and this could really bring some major change in your family. And I don't want to say that a family member is going to die. I don't want you to worry about that. But there could be some sort of ending or change that is happening in your family. It is possible that there is someone who passes away, but I don't think that's necessarily a sudden thing. But I'm even looking at this death card, and it is very much like an intergenerational energy here. And it's like whatever is lost or whatever change is happening, it's having you think in a more existential way. And I think that's part of why you are like really thinking about the legacy of your life. You're really thinking about the long term thing. It's like, do I want to have children? Have I nurtured my children enough? What is the home I want to live in? What does the relationship I want to have look like? There's these big questions that are very, very personal to you, Scorpio. And honestly, just, in a general reading, I'm not going to be able to answer them for you. It's interesting too because I've just felt very conscientious about the way I'm describing these energies because I feel like some of you want a specific relationship, some of you want a specific home, and that is just going to be very, very personal to each and every one of you. But also, part of this energy is you figuring these things out for yourself. You are asking these questions to yourself. I do want to get into some oracle cards here. Actually, one second. I do want to clarify. Why is death on the table here? Why is the death card here? We have the Nine of Cups. Interesting. Nine of Cups represents fulfillment. It's often personal happiness or some sort of recognition, especially with these trophies here. Again, I do get this sense of recognition for you, but it's almost like the achievements don't matter as much anymore. Some of you could be quitting a job or changing your role so you can be more available to the people in your life. That could be the thing that is ending or changing. This could also be happening with a partner or a person you are very connected to. Maybe they are stepping down from some role so they can be more present in their personal life or be more present with you. I feel like someone wants to step down, and maybe this is just temporary, but Death card kind of does make this feel a little more permanent. It does make this feel more like, instead of just like walking away from something, someone is coming up with an exit plan. I'm actually getting like retirement, which is interesting. Some of you could be thinking about retirement, or it's like you've been working and grinding at this job, and some of you are kind of asking like, well, if I retired or if I didn't have to work, what is it that I would be doing? And you're going in that direction. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. So there is a new beginning here as well. And it's interesting to have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. It's like there is an ending, but there's also a new beginning here. That's very death energy as well. And to be honest, when I saw this card, I wasn't alarmed. I didn't have this sense of like sudden ending or sudden grief. This feels very calculated, actually. And I think some of you are feeling these changes with Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Where it's like you're kind of changing your idea of partnership or what that has to look like as well. And you might be letting go of sort of a more traditional dream or sort of what you thought love was supposed to look like. And with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like there is something brand new and you're letting go of old ways of thinking about things. I'm now going to pull an oracle card for you. I want to pull an animal card. What is the animal wisdom for Scorpio? We have dolphin. I love to see this because dolphins often travel in pods. They have this beautiful light and playful energy. This is very much reminding me of this Pisces season that we are entering into for you. And, you know, I do sometimes think of soulmates with dolphins because even though they often travel in pods, they will often split off in pairs, and that those pairs are very bonded. Interestingly, it's often a same-sex pair, but they do connect sexually. So maybe there really was something about sexuality here, and that seems to actually be coming up. Maybe that's the notion of what you thought your life had to look like. Some of you may be realizing you're gay or bi or pan, or you're kind of reevaluating your sexual orientation. And that's come up a few times. So that's interesting. And maybe in this sort of identity crisis, maybe that has challenged your spiritual beliefs or the traditions you grew up with. Or even if you didn't have a challenging upbringing in that way, there are just these societal pressures. And maybe you are kind of pushing against these societal pressures or these expectations and distancing yourself from them. However exactly this manifests for you, Scorpio, it feels like there is something that it's kind of daunting, it's a little scary, but the universe wants you to be playful with this energy. Okay? I feel like some of you, especially if you're single, you could be entering into relationships or connections with very unexpected people. We do have the Nightingale as well, which is all about speaking from the heart. This card often does speak of poetry and romance. So again, it's interesting that this is kind of coming up, but it's like a little scary. It's a little dark. I feel like there's these beautiful opportunities that are coming that actually are exciting and fulfilling to you, but it's coming in a form that you didn't anticipate. And like, I think for some reason with this group, it's like you had this vision or this expectation of what your life was going to look like, and it feels like that is radically changing throughout this month. And this actually does feel very tied to relationships, but it's also tied to your ideas of home and family, marriage potentially for some of you. There is even this potential of like changes at work, so you can kind of better create space for all of these different aspects of your life as well. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you are wanting to nest with the Nightingale here. And to really connect with like-minded spirits. Out of curiosity, is there a specific person? Is there a specific person? Wow, we have the Sea Serpent. I feel like the person who's coming in is very deep. Very, very, I almost want to say intense, but not necessarily in like a negative way. They feel very deeply. It could be like a still waters run deep sort of image or message. There could be a lot of sexual energy with this person, because the Sea Serpent represents the sacral chakra, which is all about sensuality. So maybe not so much sexual, but there's a very sensual energy to this person. I really am getting a very strong message of a sexual awakening for a lot of you, or a reawakening. And it feels like it's bringing up this weird conflict. It's almost like you feel like you can only have one life. You can't have these different aspects of these different lives. But I want to push against that. I want to challenge that. You can have a multitude in your world, in your life. It doesn't have to just be one thing or one way all the time. And I feel like someone is kind of bursting open this floodgate for you, and it's exciting, but it's also very confusing. And there is a lot of emotional healing that is coming as well, and a lot of feelings that are coming up. And the Unicorn, wow, very strong psychic or spiritual connection, but you know, the third eye, while it does represent intuition, and that kind of connection or perception, it does really also speak to, oh my gosh, what was I about to say? Why did I lose that? Hold on. If I don't remember, I guess I just wasn't meant to say it, but, um, oh, yeah, the unicorn really does represent piercing the veil and seeing new ways, seeing things from new perspectives, cutting through the illusion. Yeah, there's a major shift that is happening in your life, and it's kind of giving you a bit of an identity crisis, but it's also very freeing at the same time. You're going to have to let me know in the comment section down below what the hell is going on, because this feels really complicated, but it feels like there's a lot of emotions here, and it's like you want to let things go, and it's almost like the thing that you are needing to shed with the Ten of Wands is like an old identity. So that's very, very interesting. Anyway, Scorpio, those are all the messages I have for you this month. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. All of my links are in the comment section down below if you're looking for a reading or distance Reiki session with me. You can also watch the other videos, maybe for your moon or rising sign, and see if there's any messages that resonate for you there as well. And I will see you all next time. Have a happy and blessed February. Take care.